All right, this is the magazine pattern project. You guys are going to be using a magazine and Sharpies and a gel pen. Now the Sharpies you get to pick from either a gold theme or a silver theme. So if you decide to pick the silver theme, you can use a silver gel pen, a white gel pen, and a silver Sharpie. If you decide to pick the gold theme, you can use a gold Sharpie, a bronze Sharpie, and a gold gel pen, just like I have here. Okay, those are going to be the ones that I'm using. You're going to need a glue stick, pencil, scissors, and a black paper. So as far as picking the magazine image, you need to pick something where it's going to be big enough. I have a few examples of things that you don't want to pick from and things that you do. This one right here, these people are a decent size, but I would say that they are still a little bit too small. So as you're looking through the magazine, try to look for something that is a little bit bigger than what we see here. These people are way, way too small. So this would not be an option to pick from. This one here, it is a good magazine image. It's very, very big, but it doesn't or won't fit the requirements for this project. What we're going to be doing is we are going to be cutting out one piece from the magazine. Now, the piece that you want to cut out usually needs to be some type of accessory. It needs to be some part of the clothing, and sometimes hair can be the thing that you cut out. So this one would not work because we have the words listed all over the shirt here. If we didn't have these things and have the hand there, you could kind of crop the image, and then we could cut out this shirt to add pattern into. This one would work. This image right here would also be a good choice, and this would be a good choice. Now I'm going to talk about why. So the piece that you are cutting out, you are going to be adding pattern to on your paper. The rest of the pieces you are going to be gluing down onto your black piece of paper. So one reason why this would be a good choice for the magazine, it's big enough. I would get rid of these words. So personally, I would crop the paper around here. Then after that, I would cut out my magazine along this black edge, along the hand, and then use that for the piece. Now, this one, I would decide to use this lady here, and I would decide to cut it off here, and then I would continue to cut out the rest of the magazine image. Once I've done that, then I need to start to figure out what pieces will I be gluing onto the black paper, and what piece will I be tracing and adding pattern to in the project. So that would be the dress. So how that would work, after you get the whole thing cut out, then you would cut off the section of the arm. Now it sounds weird because you're like cutting heads off and cutting clothes and stuff, but this is how it works. So I would come in here, cut out that middle section, come up through here to cut that arm off completely. You'd cut the head off, then you have all your magazine images separated. Now this one would be a good choice for multiple reasons. You could cut off the accessory of the hat, you could cut the paper here to crop it, cut this shirt off and add pattern there. For this piece, this project, I'm thinking that I'm going to go with, I think we'll do this one for this example. So now I'm going to show you kind of how that's going to work. Okay, so you'll take your scissors, I'm going to crop this. Start cutting out that whole magazine image first. All right, so there it is. I do eventually want to get this white section out. So what I think would be the easiest is just to start cutting along this part of the arm here. Okay, then you can kind of get up to this middle section where you can get close to the dress and you can just continue to cut out the rest of that white area. Okay, and then we'll continue to cut up and along this part to cut that arm off. Okay, you want to make sure you don't lose your pieces as you're starting to cut out the magazine. Okay, so let's move that. Now we have our pieces here. And what you're going to do is now you're going to take your paper and you're going to figure out the best place to position this. It would not be the best place to have the magazine just floating in the center of the artwork. If the dress continued, that might work, but because it doesn't, you probably want to set this towards the bottom. Now, because it also has that edge, possibly putting it in the corner area might work best. Just make sure that this will fit. Yep, that should be good. So, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to trace the outline of this dress. Now the reason I'm doing that, the dress is where I'm going to add pattern to with those Sharpies and the gel pen. Now if I don't trace this, I don't know where to glue on the head and the arm. So I'm going to take my pencil and slowly outline where your magazine is that you're going to add pattern to. You want to trace every line that you see so you know again where to put things down. All right, so you can move that. Now I'm going to outline this a little bit darker so you can see kind of what it looks like. As you're working on your project, you want to use really, really light pencil lines. The lighter pencil lines, the better, because if you need to erase, it's much easier to erase, especially on this black paper. If you erase too much, it actually starts to wear that away. So this is what the dress is kind of looking like now. Now I know where to glue the other pieces on. So first, take the arm and start to put a little bit of glue there. And I just made it rip. So if something like this happens to you, it's fine, you just glue it back together. So I think we'll just glue on the top part of the arm. Then we'll get the other half and we'll glue that on. Put a little bit more glue. Maybe be a little more careful, I guess. That's what I'm learning. All right. It's decent. So after you've done that, then we'll glue this head on. And there we go. So now you're ready to move on to starting to add pattern to the piece with the Sharpie and the gel pen. So before I use any of these, I'm going to use my pencil to start to figure out what types of pattern I'm going to put into the dress, and also what type of pattern I'm going to put into the background. So there was some type of belt here, so I might continue that. So we'll do that. And as far as the background goes, let's see, what should I do? I think we'll kind of go like this and use a lot of curving lines. I think that will be kind of interesting. Because the dress has that, a lot of curve to it, I think that having that kind of continue throughout the rest of the piece might be really interesting. And then, let's see, we'll have some pieces come over here. Okay, and then we'll just continue to have some of these go. So and just a few more up here, then we can start to add the pattern. Okay, I think that looks good. So I'll kind of show you a little bit closer. This is a general outline of what it will be like. Now, you do possibly with your pencil want to start to put in a little bit of pattern idea. If you start with the Sharpie and gel pen right away, what can happen is you can make more mistakes and then you can't get rid of that Sharpie. So it's personally is up to you. If you feel more confident and comfortable in starting with pencil first, then do that. And then you can start to kind of trace again over those lines. So I'm going to take my Sharpie and just kind of start to outline actually some of the lines that I already have here. I'm kind of fixing my lines as I go, and I'm missing some of the pencil, so then I can just go on later and I can erase that. There we go. I like those lines just a little bit more. So then later I could just come in again and erase those lines. So this is what I have so far. Next I'll just start to put in a little bit more pattern, and then I'll show you kind of the next